Imagine discovering a way to steal millions of dollars with nothing more than a laptop, technical skills, and access to the internet. Sounds like the beginning of a billionaire story, right? But here's the part movies rarely show. Making money through hacking is one thing. Keeping that money, spending it safely, and staying out of prison are completely different challenges. So let me ask you something before we go any further. Could hacking actually make someone a billionaire? Welcome to BlueHat Cybersec Academy. Let's look beyond the Hollywood version of hacking and explore the real economics behind cybercrime, where cyber fortunes come from, why criminal wealth is so difficult to sustain, and how those same technical skills can create something far more valuable through legitimate cybersecurity. When people hear the word cybercrime, they often imagine someone breaking into a bank account and transferring money. The reality is much bigger. Cybercrime has become an entire economy. Attackers can make money from stolen credentials, ransomware, financial fraud, intellectual property, sensitive data, botnets, compromised systems, and access to corporate networks. And just like a legitimate business, modern cybercrime can involve specialization. One person might develop malware, another might search for vulnerable systems, someone else might sell access to compromised networks. Others may handle negotiations, payments, or laundering. In some cases, criminal groups operate almost like businesses, with different people responsible for different stages of the operation. That creates an uncomfortable reality. Cybercrime can be extremely profitable, but profitable doesn't automatically mean someone becomes extremely wealthy. Revenue isn't the same as personal fortune. Think about it this way. Let's say a cybercriminal operation generates $10 million. Does that mean one hacker now has $10 million sitting safely in a bank account? Not necessarily. The money could be divided among developers, affiliates, brokers, infrastructure operators, and other participants. Some can disappear through operating costs. Some can be frozen or seized. Some transactions can become traceable. And sometimes criminals simply lose access to their own money. That's an important distinction. Revenue isn't wealth. And wealth isn't particularly useful if you can't safely control, transfer, invest, or spend it. Now imagine scaling that operation from millions to hundreds of millions. The money gets bigger, but so does the attention. Could a hacker actually become a billionaire? Technically, it's possible. Realistically, becoming a billionaire purely through criminal hacking would be extraordinarily difficult. The challenge isn't just technical skill. At extreme levels of criminal wealth, the problems become financial, operational, and legal. How do you move the money? How do you hide its origin? How do you protect it from other criminals? How do you invest it without attracting attention? And how do you avoid becoming a major target for international law enforcement? The more successful a criminal operation becomes, the more attention it can attract. Someone stealing a few $1,000s may remain unnoticed for some time. Someone responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in losses creates a completely different investigative priority. Digital evidence, cryptocurrency transactions, infrastructure records, communications, and simple human mistakes can all become pieces of the puzzle, and one mistake can change everything. But here's where the story gets much more interesting. What happens when hackers go legit? The skills that allow someone to break into systems can also make that person extremely valuable at protecting them. Think about ethical hackers, penetration testers, red team operators, vulnerability researchers, security engineers, and cybersecurity entrepreneurs. They use many of the same fundamental skills. They understand how systems fail. They think like attackers. They search for weaknesses that others overlook. The critical difference is authorization, and that difference can completely change the financial outcome. Take bug bounty programs as one example. Security researchers can legally discover vulnerabilities and report them to companies. Some discoveries can result in substantial rewards, but the bigger opportunity may come from building something around that expertise. A researcher can create a security product. A security professional can build a consulting company. An entrepreneur can solve a cybersecurity problem for thousands or even millions of customers. And that's where scale enters the equation. There's a powerful economic principle here. The biggest fortunes in technology usually aren't created simply by performing technical tasks. They're created through ownership and scale. A highly skilled hacker can find a vulnerability. A cybersecurity founder can build a company that solves that vulnerability or an entire category of security problems for thousands of customers. That's a completely different economic model. Technical skill can generate income, but ownership, intellectual property, recurring revenue, investment, and scalable products can generate extraordinary wealth. So if someone asks, "Can hacking make you rich?" Yes. But if they ask, "Can criminal hacking reliably make you a billionaire?" That's a very different question, and the answer is far less convincing. Cybersecurity has a fascinating advantage. The curiosity that makes someone want to break systems can also make them exceptionally good at defending those systems. And the ethical route isn't necessarily the boring route. It can lead to penetration testing, red teaming, vulnerability research, threat intelligence, incident response, security engineering, bug bounties, consulting, and cybersecurity startups. More importantly, legitimate work allows you to build something criminal activity can destroy, a reputation that becomes more valuable over time. Your skills become experience. Your discoveries become a portfolio. Your work builds credibility. Your network expands. Eventually, that expertise can become a company, a product, or an investment opportunity. So, what's the real answer? Could a hacker become a billionaire? Possibly, but probably not because they hacked $1 billion. The more realistic path is taking the mindset behind hacking curiosity, persistence, technical creativity, and the ability to identify weaknesses, and applying it to legitimate technology and cybersecurity businesses. Cybercrime can create spectacular short-term numbers. Cybersecurity can create sustainable long-term value. And now, here's your challenge. If you had to choose between becoming extremely wealthy through illegal hacking or building a legitimate cybersecurity company, which path would you choose and why? And here's a second question for you. Do you think technical skill is more valuable when you're breaking systems or when you're building something that protects them? Put your answer in the comments. Let's see what the cybersecurity community thinks. And if this conversation changed the way you look at the economics of hacking, like this video, share it with someone interested in cybersecurity, and subscribe to BlueHat Cybersec Academy. Because understanding how attackers think is powerful, but understanding how to turn that knowledge into something valuable, sustainable, and legitimate, that's where the real opportunity begins. So what would you choose? The $1 billion hack or the $1 billion cybersecurity company?